Consistency is the holy grail of health and fitness and of intentional weight loss, and of course it's maintenance. But unless you understand why it is that you keep pressing the fuck it button, why it is that you keep undoing all your hard work over and over, and why it is that you can't seem to escape this all or nothing mindset that has had you losing and gaining the same 10-15 kilos for the last 10 years, unless you understand why that's happening, you're going to remain stuck. And when you're stuck, you're going to find it impossible to actually lose the weight for good, never gain it again, and maintain those changes for the rest of your life. So consistency really matters. Everybody knows that. But why is it so difficult? Every single fitness coach in the fitness industry will have you believe that consistency is simply a matter of discipline, that it is simply a matter of willpower, that it is simply a matter of wanting it enough. But I disagree, because of course I'm a fitness coach and a psychologist, so I know better than to assume that consistency can be boiled down to that simple stuff. More often than not, the issues with consistency go a heck of a lot deeper. So we need to be able to look beneath the surface to understand what's happening, and also to be able to know what the hell to do about it. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through what can be happening, or what can be beneath that surface that is making you consistently press the fuck it button and sabotage yourself, why it is that you, despite your best efforts, cannot seem to stay consistent with intentional weight loss, and why you need to work with me to be able to break that pattern. Part of the training that goes into becoming a psychologist involves the development of your own philosophy, your own sets of beliefs. And what I've come to believe as an exercise psychologist and as a fitness coach is that all behavior makes sense in context. What does that mean? That means that no matter what somebody is doing, whether that seems to be dysfunctional, unhelpful, getting in the way, causing them more harm than good, I make the assumption that what they are doing in some shape or form must be functional, must be helpful, at least in the short term. What that means that whatever you're doing, feeling, experiencing, thinking must have a purpose that in some shape or form is acting, quotation marks, to help you more often than not, to try to protect you in some shape or form. And so when a client comes to me expressing that they're struggling with pressing the fuck it button, with self-sabotaging, with undoing their work all the time, that they cannot seem to stay consistent, I always make the assumption that it must make sense, that must be functional in some shape or form. And the next step that we need to explore is why or how is that functional, or how does that make sense? So let me give you some common examples as to why pressing the fuck it button is a completely logical and sensible thing to do in the short term in context. I'm going to use the word self-sabotage here interchangeably with pressing the fuck it button, or like undoing all your work. And I'm going to make the assumption that more often than not, the way that you self-sabotage is by overeating and or by avoiding physical activity or any form of exercise for a prolonged period of time. Maybe you self-sabotage as a means to help you avoid or numb the difficult or unwanted thoughts, feelings, and sensations that you have about yourself, or about the world, or about your life, or about anything that you're finding difficult right now. Because when we self-sabotage, it either gives us something to do to move away from the thing that's difficult for us, or it gives us something to do to squash those feelings that are showing up that we don't want to be experiencing. Maybe self-sabotage because you fear losing control. Maybe control is really important to you, and paradoxically, when you are on this journey to intentionally lose weight, if you've never been able to be consistent, you might not actually know what the end outcome of this journey is for you. And so pressing the fuck it button actually is a very tangible way of maintaining that control, because it helps you predict what's actually going to happen, i.e. you're going to fail. And when we seek control, even if that end outcome is not what we want technically long term, actually short term, knowing that we're going to press the fuck it button appeases the part of us that is worried about what might happen if we don't. It's a familiar route, and familiarity always feels safer in the short term. And that's not a you problem, that's just a human evolution problem. Maybe you self-sabotage because internally you don't feel like you're good enough, or that you even deserve to succeed with intentional weight loss. And so essentially by pressing the fuck it button, you're confirming that narrative. You're confirming that you are in fact good for nothing, that you're useless, and that you don't even deserve to be happy or deserve to move towards intentional weight loss and maintain that in the way that you always wish that you had. Sometimes self-sabotaging helps protect our ego, because we know that at least if we fail at something, we're failing on our own terms. So it almost gives us like a reason or an explanation as to why we didn't do well, because we self-sabotage, but at least we know that it's on us. And again, if it's on us, then we feel like the control is within, therefore it makes it a lot less scary and a lot less unpredictable. And for most humans, that's a lot better and a lot more comfortable to manage long term. You might also self-sabotage because the implications of success maybe feel too overwhelming. Who are you and what is your identity? If you actually do succeed at doing the thing that you've been committed to trying to do all this time, I guess if you've been working on a particular project for 20 plus years, the project of losing weight and keeping it off for 20 years, and then you actually lose the weight and you actually keep it off, what is going to occupy your mind, right? That's also another reason why you might find yourself consistently pressing the fuck it button. And finally, you might self-sabotage because paradoxically, again, sabotaging yourself might protect you from, or protect your ego from realizing that even when you put everything into something, you're maybe still not good enough. And so self-sabotaging provides the reason for, oh well, if I hadn't pressed the fucking button, like maybe I would have achieved it. It eliminates the risk of doing it, giving your all, and still failing. And that's really difficult to sit with, and that is okay. Like, that is hard. But like I said at the beginning, unless and until you understand why you keep pressing the fucking button, you're going to continue to stay stuck. And again, everyone in the fitness industry is going to try to convince you that this is a matter of discipline, of willpower, and it is easier. I wish it was as easy as motivation, discipline, willpower, and wanting it enough, but it isn't. And that is why another coach that is just going to give you macros and a training plan is not going to be helpful. You need to address those root issues, and that is what you need to work on. And guess what? A fat loss coach is not going to be able to help you with that. But a psychologist who is also a fitness coach, who understands it all and who has created a system that can support you with both things, with the intentional weight loss and do the internal work, can help you move towards those goals and actually achieve that consistency in your behaviors that are going to help you with long-term weight loss and with the maintenance of the weight loss too. You literally deserve better than to keep yourself going in this cycle. And I say this to all my clients. I pride myself in the fact that my goal is to make myself redundant. I don't want you to feel like you have to keep working with me. I want to help you get from A to B in the most efficient and compassionate way possible, because you deserve to live a life where you're not consistently plagued by this urge and this insistence of wanting to lose weight and failing all the time. What kind of a life is that, to continuously encounter these feelings of failure because of this struggle to lose weight? And again, it's not your fault. It's just the way that you've been trying to tackle this problem is not the right way. You've been trying to tackle what appears to be an eating or an exercise problem with eating and exercise advice, when in actual fact, this has got so much more to do with how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you talk to yourself. And unless you address those things, the other stuff will not change. It cannot happen the other way around. Yeah, of course, training and eating in ways that are value aligned is of course going to do something for your self-esteem, but if those issues are not addressed, you're just going to be bearing it, and eventually they will resurface. And you probably know this already because it's probably happened to you before. Otherwise, why are you watching this video? And look, I don't want you to continue to suffer trying to lose weight, and that's why I want you to work with me. If you find yourself repeatedly pressing the fucking button, self-sabotaging and undoing all your hard work, like I said, the work that we'll do will help you understand why it is that you're doing this, and we'll work on building the skills that are going to help you break that cycle once and for all. So do yourself a favor and head to the link in the description and click on inquiring about working with me today. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I hope that you liked it. If you did, make sure that you liked the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.